Good morning, New Prague area schools and New Prague school community. My name is Tony Boothie, Director of Educational Services for the New Prague schools. Welcome to our second episode of Supt Talk. Here to my right, Superintendent Mr. Tim Dittberner. Good morning, Mr. Dittberner.
Good morning, Tony.
Thank you very much for being with us this morning. And before we bring our first guests on, I would like to ask you a couple questions, Mr. Dittberner. I think maybe the episode one, I kind of forgot to ask how the beginning of the school year has gone, but we've got 1 month kind of under our belt. How have things gone for the start of the school?
I think it's gone very good. There's a lot of preparation done this summer. There are teachers and staff development, working in teams, getting everything ready to go. So it's been a smooth start, a very positive start. Enrollment obviously is very important, and we had a slight increase in enrollment, a little over 1%, which is good, just a steady growth. We're pleased about that. We had obviously the boundary changes for the elementary last year, and our enrollment at Eagle View went up about 60-some students, so we've got more balanced elementary enrollments, and that's gone really well. So at the high school level here, obviously with sports and activities going on, it's been great. We had a great homecoming, and it was a good week. Didn't win the football game, but other than that, things went very well. But the kids did their best, and fall sports are rolling. So,
yeah. Well, sure. It sure seems as I travel around to the buildings also that it's been a smooth start to the New Prague school year. And then also when you drive around, there is kind of something that's not hard to see, and that's a little bit of our construction. Maybe start with the CEC first and the pool and whatever else goes into the CEC. What's going on there?
Yeah, in fact, I was just talking to someone from Eagle View, one of our nutrition workers out there today, who doesn't get into town, lives out towards Lonsdale, and hasn't been in the town of New Prague lately. And she was there this weekend, and she just couldn't believe the changes that have taken place in the last month at the middle school and the CEC. At the CEC right now, the north side of the building, you can see the big structure up right now is where the aquatic center will be. And so they've got the big crane out there. They're finishing up some of the external work right now, and it's just very impressive to see. They're also on our district office entry. They're in the district office right now. They've gutted that all out and changing that phase, the entryway into the district office and all that. So that's what they've been working on there. Everything's done in phases at the CEC. So aquatic center, which is going to be ongoing until it's done in June, and right now they're in the district office area right now, and they'll be working on that till January. As far as the middle school, you can drive by there, you can see the 12-room classroom addition. They actually do have a couple windows in already on the lower floor. They've redone the art rooms, added on there, so that looks great, and also put the windows in there. On the north side of the building, you can see the big brick structure. That's on the north side, that's the gymnasium coming out there, along with the fitness center, or fitness room I should say, and the addition to the kitchen. So that's continually being worked on right now, and they're also working on the main entry into the middle school too. So a lot of things going on at the middle school and the CEC, and even the middle school is done in phases. There will be things that are still left for the summer to get done when the kids aren't here, but there's still going to be a lot of work going on, and we're hoping the transition from the 6th grade from the CEC to the middle school, that they'll be able to move over. Right now it's still projected late December, but you know, original plan was to be in February, but they're a little bit ahead of schedule, and it's going well.
So by the start of school next year, kind of about 11 months from now, say late August, the majority of everything should be completed in both buildings.
Yes, both buildings, along with the work, the renovation that will be done at Falcon Ridge Elementary School too. And they'll be starting that as soon as school's out. They did the roof last summer, but there's a lot of things to do with the HVAC system and the bathrooms and the temporary walls that have been done to become permanent. And then they'll also be at the bus garage or transportation area too. That will be renovated and added on there too, and we're looking at moving the tennis courts to just west of the CEC. That all needs to get worked out, but that probably will not be totally completed by next fall, but by next year it will be done.
Okay, so a lot of exciting and interesting things taking place both physically and then also in the walls of the school. And then when we come back from our break, we're going to talk about a new program that has started this year called the Integrated Learning Program. We'll be right back with. Welcome back to Supt Talk. Thank you very much, Mr. Dittberner, for giving us that update of the entire district of New Prague and what is going on. You can always look at our website, also the New Prague School District website. There's a lot of information on there about the construction that is taking place at both the CEC and the middle school. And if there's any other questions, you can always call any of the schools also.
Yeah. We do a weekly update. Just
weekly updates, and that's always on the website, absolutely. To my left here, I'd like to invite our guests that are all part of what is called the Integrated Learning Program that was developed last year and is starting out this fall for the high school. And on my left is Mrs. Jane Dittberner, who is one of the 2 instructors for our Business and Global Society. So we welcome you, Mrs. Dittberner.
Thank you.
And we also have 2 of our students, Allie J. Nikolai and Noah Hummel. And we would like to welcome both of our students today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll start with Allie J. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Allie J., things that you're involved in within the school, and then we'll get to you, Noah.
I'm Allie J. Nikolai. I'm a junior here at New Prague High School, and I'm heavily involved in the theater program and music and choir.
Hey, I'm Noah Hummel. I'm a senior here at New Prague High School. I participate in the theater program with Allie J, and I also participate in track and field and strength and conditioning after school.
Well, thank you both for being here today, and we really appreciate it. We'll start with you, Mrs. Dittberner, and will you just kind of tell our viewers what the Integrated Learning Program is really kind of about, and then just specifically the global business class which you're teaching.
So it is a class that's off campus, and we are renting some space down at the New Day Church in New Prague. We have 28 students, and we focus heavily on workplace skills, career development, and specifically economics and language arts, and blending those 2 curriculums together. I'm co-teaching with Sean Dubé, and he's the language arts instructor, and I focus my attention on the economics portion. A fairly significant part of the class is group work, and they just were rolled out today, our group projects, where we are working with 6 different organizations, small businesses, and working on kind of some consulting projects for them. And the students just got into their groups today for the first time, so that's pretty exciting.
Well, wonderful.
and another thing besides the projects that they do in groups, a big part of it too. You want to talk about the guest instructors that you have come in, and also the mentoring.
Sure. We had a guest instructor today, in fact, and Noah's going to talk a little bit about that. And every week we focus either on a specific area in economics or some area in research or writing or marketing, public relations that can tie it back into our curriculum. And these are experts in the field, and they are willing to share their expertise with our students. And we're extremely appreciative of them. And I think it's just something different that's fun for the students to learn.
And the mentoring, every student has a mentor.
And every student's been assigned a mentor, and these, again, typically are local people who either own a business, operate a business, work in a business here in town, and really just care about students and their development as young adults.
And so they meet with those mentors every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks, we encourage the students to have some form of weekly communication, whether it's a text message or email, and then a face-to-face communication every 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, well, let's talk about, you guys have guest instructors come in regularly. You had one today, and I'm sure it wasn't as good as the one you had a couple of weeks ago, but that was me actually, but I'm not sure what they learned. Anyway, why don't you talk about the guest instructor today that you had and what was learned?
Yeah, so the guest instructor today owns a business in Lonsdale, and he talked to us about supply and demand, and we learned so much. He talked about employing somebody for a part in his job that he needs in his business, and he got so in depth about this one job and the supply and demand that is implied into that, and it was amazing to learn about all this stuff and all that goes along with just this small part of this business.
Now, Joe, did you have a comment on that, or another guest instructor you've had, or?
Yeah, we've had a lot of really great guest instructors. I think I learned a lot from last week's with the lawyer that came and talked about research and how he does his research in writing these different legal documents. And so with the big, we have a big paper coming up with our problem proposal of fixing a problem in a business and then presenting our proposal in this paper. And so when he came in and he kind of put out how he does this research, that totally helped me a ton to figure out how to organize, do that for myself.
So it'd be some of these things that you can't learn in a textbook that you're getting.
No, it's definitely real life situations, and they put it out there so we know how it actually is out there.
So last spring, when you signed up for the class, I mean, did you have any idea what this class was going to be about, and what's your reaction to it now so far as we're a month in?
So I wanted to do something with business my senior year because I don't really know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to college soon, and I thought business might be interesting, so I decided to take this class, and it is actually not what I expected. It is way better than I expected. It's very real world, and you can't get this stuff out of other classes. I'm very glad I took the class.
And the class actually too is, like Jane said, they start at New Day Church. It's the first 2 hours of the day. And so it's a 2-hour class where they're off-site, and they also dress up semi-formal or whatever you call business dress every day too. Some come back to school like that, some change. But how about you, LJ? What's your impression of the class? What was, going back to last spring?
Last spring, signing up for the class, we had a few meetings before, just kind of presenting the idea of this class and just listening to these different ideas and concepts that they were going to bring towards the class. It was just an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. It was something I wanted to be a part of moving forward and hopefully expanding this program. And so coming to class, I had no idea what to expect. I've never taken a class, business class or an economics class before, and so I was just ready to learn, and every time I leave the class I just feel so much smarter because it's it's just so many things that I had no idea about until now, and it just is totally starting to make sense with the real world life.
So you'd refer it to other students, this class?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk, Jane, about, won't be teaching the class, but we also have this class in the spring, a different type of class. Just briefly talk about that.
And that one, maybe Tony can offer a little bit of help on that
Yeah,
one.
healthcare and sports science, and that will be offered second semester, and that will be Mrs. Allison Olson and Mr. Jeff Decker. That will be human anatomy and physiology and psychology, and it will be along the same lines as our business class. We've got approximately 38 kids signed up for that class, and that will really be in the healthcare and sports science field. Again, utilizing a lot of the individuals and people from within our community. And I was going to ask you, Jane, if you could just touch a little bit, not so much on the students here, but the community members who have been involved, our mentors, the HR panel, and guest instructors, and just kind of how they've been involved. And, are you pretty happy with what you've seen from our community right now?
I've been amazed at the support that we've gotten from our community members. Not that I was surprised, I guess, but just very pleased. And the just the impact, I think, that they now know that they can have on students is pretty cool. Part of this program, we haven't done any yet, but we'll start this in October, is site visits. And so we are now starting to arrange those site visits where we can start learning. It's different than a field trip, because our goal is for the students to really figure out what that business does and how that plays into our curriculum and our class, and tie it back together with what we do. So our first visit that we're going to do is chart, and they've been extremely supportive as well, and just kind of visiting the different departments within chart and spending time talking to each of those groups then within that respective business.
So about this winter, we will bring in high school sophomores, freshmen, sophomore, juniors to talk about next year's classes. That was in the gymnasium last year. It was the first time they ever did it. We did it at a nighttime. Mr. Seifert, the high school principal, will put that together along with his counseling office. My question kind of is more for the students. As you're sitting here today and now you signed up for this class, and the second semester we'll have some healthcare and sports science people here, what would you not only tell the other students coming, but even the parents who are maybe involved with their kids in helping them plan for classes for college? What's something that you've already said how the class has really worked, but what's one thing that you might say, I think you should really consider this because?
Well, it does have a college aspect, and where most of our projects and our assignments, it's just very broad. And we ourselves, not the teachers, really have to narrow it down to what this assignment, say, a paper is. And we have to find out and just figure that out. And yeah.
More real world, that's for sure.
Yeah.
For the students coming in that are deciding to maybe take a class like this, I would just say it's not easy. So don't expect it to be easy. It's definitely, it's a good challenge. If you want to challenge yourself and grow yourself and your knowledge of how the real world works, or expand your knowledge and how to write a paper, different kind of papers, I'd definitely take this class. It's totally different. It is nice going to a different place before school. It's just more relaxing and more professional. You work with people that enjoy what they do, and they do it so well. And so if you're up for a challenge and you just want to broaden your horizons or maybe even figure out a possible career, definitely take this class.
Yeah, I think, the push and where I see education going at different school districts, especially the exemplary ones, the main things you need in a curriculum, especially at the high school level and to get kids ready for the post-secondary workforce, you need rigor. You've talked about that. It needs to be rigorous and relevant. What you're doing, work is relevant. And obviously the relationship piece, which you have, not just with your teachers, but with your mentors. And so it's the whole package of rigor, relationships, and relevancy. And we think this class is just going to explode the next couple of years here. I think, you signed up for it at the beginning. I'm sure you're just thinking, well, give it a shot, something different. But you really find out, and I think the word of mouth, it's going to, like I said, explode and get better. And it's just, we're so thankful to the community members that are helping out, being guest instructors or mentoring, that type of thing. But also for the students, we've got, it's got to be for the right people too. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So we thank you for your participation in the class, for sharing your stories today. I think it's really neat, and we're very grateful for it.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for being with us today, and also for taking that leap of faith and joining the integrated learning program. We will have second semester, as Supt Talk is at least once a month, if not even twice. We'll have our healthcare and sports science instructors and a couple students from that also. If you're a viewer out there, if you're a business person, and you believe that you may have something to offer our global business class or healthcare and sports science as a mentor and or guest instructor, feel free to contact myself, Tony Boothie, and I'll have Mitch, our videographer, put my name and email on this production, and you can give us a call at any time, and we would love to visit with you, because we're really looking for good people to be involved. And I have told the mentors, and I've heard from a lot of the mentors, that they're learning as much from the students as the students are learning from them. So it's been a great relationship. But Mrs. Dittberner, thank you very much. Allie J and Noah, we appreciate you being with us today, and have a great rest of the semester in the global business class.
Absolutely, thank you.
So that concludes our second episode of Supt Talk. We appreciate you watching, as always, on our website, the New Prague School District website, and also the City Access channel if you're looking to view it. Thank you very much for being with us.